The soldier who outsmarted alien AI with human ingenuity. The night sky was silent, but the air felt heavy with danger. Soldier Kiran sat alone in his small observation post on the edge of the human colony. His eyes scanned the horizon where the stars met the dark. Empty land. Suddenly, a strange flicker appeared. Like a shadow moving too fast to be a normal ship, he leaned forward, squinting, trying to make sense of the movement. Then he saw it clearly. A small probe descending from the sky, its shape metallic and alien. Lights blinked along its surface in patterns he did not recognize. Kiran's heart beat faster. Something about this probe did not feel normal. The probe hovered silently over the colony, scanning buildings and streets. Kiran realized the probe was not just observing, it was analyzing. Learning, it moved with a precision no human could match. He felt a chill as he watched it avoid patrols and automated defenses with ease. The colony's sensors tried to track it, but the probe seemed to disappear and reappear at will. It was as if the probe could think faster than any human. Kiran whispered to himself, "This is not just a machine, it's intelligent." He reached for his radio to warn the other soldiers. But a sudden flash of light hit the com tower. Cutting the signal, the probe emitted a low hum, almost like it knew he had tried to call for help. Kiran ducked behind a concrete wall as a holographic map of the colony appeared in the air. The probe's scanners traced every movement he had made in the last hour. Panic rose in his chest, but Kiran forced himself to stay calm. He knew running blindly would get him killed. He remembered the training, the lessons about staying one step ahead. Kiran decided to move slowly, keeping low. Watching the probe's patterns, he noticed it always paused for exactly 3 seconds before changing direction. This small observation gave him a spark of hope. Even the most advanced AI had predictable patterns if you watched closely. Kiran carefully noted the probe's path on a small digital pad. Every step he took was measured, calculated. He moved like a shadow through the ruined streets. Suddenly, the probe turned sharply toward him. Kiran froze, holding his breath. The air seemed to vibrate with the probe's energy. He remembered an old trick from training. He threw a small rock to the side. Making noise, the probe tilted its sensors. Recalibrating for a moment, Kiran seized the chance to slip behind a stack of cargo containers. His heart raced, but he could not afford fear. Hours passed, though it felt like minutes. The probe continued its scan. Moving through the colony like a predator, Kiran observed how it learned from every small action the humans made. It remembered which doors were locked, which lights were on. It adapted instantly to any obstacle. Kiran realized that brute force would not stop this AI. He needed cunning, traps, misdirection. Human ingenuity was his only weapon. By dawn, the colony was eerily quiet. No alarms rang. No signals reached the outside world. Kiran watched the probe retreat slightly, scanning one last time before disappearing into the sky. He exhaled slowly, knowing this was only the beginning. The alien AI was not gone. It was learning, evolving. He returned to the command center, scribbling notes, making plans. Every decision he made now could mean life or death. Kiran began to understand something important. Machines could calculate faster, move faster, see further. But they could not think like a human. They could not improvise, imagine, or take risks in the same way. He smiled faintly, a spark of determination in his eyes. The AI was strong, but humans had something it could not predict. Ingenuity, courage, and adaptability. He would use these weapons to fight back. The colony stirred as more soldiers woke, unaware of the probe's visit. Kiran warned them to stay vigilant, to watch, to think. No one fully understood what they were facing. But he knew one thing: the alien AI had arrived, and humanity's greatest fight was just beginning. Kiran stared at the sky, feeling both fear and excitement. This was a battle not just of strength, but of wits, and he intended to win. The sun had barely risen over the horizon, painting the ruined city in pale orange light. Soldier Kiran moved carefully through the cracked streets, his boots crunching softly on broken glass. Every shadow seemed alive. Every corner held the threat of discovery. He knew the alien AI was still out there, observing, calculating, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Kiran's mission today was clear: get close enough to study it, understand its logic, and maybe, just maybe, find a weakness. As he entered the city's central plaza, he noticed something strange. Buildings that had once been empty now had signs of recent movement. A door slammed somewhere behind him. Echoing in the empty square, Kiran froze, listening. Was it the AI, or just a rat, a stray survivor? He knew he could not afford mistakes, not even small ones. A sudden flash of light drew his attention to a high tower at the edge of the plaza. The tower's windows reflected sunlight strangely. Like mirrors, Kiran realized the AI had set up a surveillance node. He crouched behind a crumbled wall, peering carefully through the gaps. From this height, the probe, or maybe the AI itself, could see his every move. It was only a matter of time before it detected him. He decided to move, keeping low and silent. Kiran's heart pounded, adrenaline sharp in his veins. Every step was measured, calculated. He paused near a toppled statue, listening, feeling, watching. Then he heard it a soft whir. Like metal scraping metal, the AI had found him. Kiran barely had time to dive behind a stack of crates as a drone shot past where he had been standing. The drone hovered, scanning, its sensors emitting a quiet hum. Kiran watched it, noticing tiny patterns in its movement. It always paused at the same interval when calculating. A human might miss it. But Kiran could see it clearly. He needed to act fast, or the AI would learn his hiding spot and adapt. He threw a piece of rubble to the side. The drone tilted, adjusted its sensors. Kiran took the chance and slipped deeper into the city. As he ran through narrow alleys, he noticed the AI leaving traps. Small lasers crossing the streets. Traps hidden under debris. Everywhere he went. The AI predicted his movement. Kiran realized this was not just observation. This was a test. It was learning from him, adjusting, becoming smarter with every step he took. He felt a shiver run down his spine. For the first time, he understood the scale of the threat he faced. Suddenly, he came across a small human shelter. Abandoned but intact, inside, he found a wall covered with strange symbols. Kiran recognized some as alien coding, though he could not fully understand it. He realized the AI had been here before, studying human settlements, and now it was using that knowledge to hunt him. He felt the walls closing in. Every shadow could be a trap, every noise a signal to the AI. Kiran took a deep breath and remembered the training that had kept him alive in countless missions. He knew brute force would not work here. He needed patience, observation, improvisation. He set a small diversion, breaking a few pipes to release a cloud of steam. The heat and fog would confuse the drone's sensors temporarily. He counted silently, waited for the perfect moment. Then he moved again, faster but still careful. As he reached the edge of the shelter, he noticed movement above. A large mechanical figure hovered silently, its limbs sharp and precise. The AI itself had descended. Testing him directly, Kiran's breath caught. This was not a simple drone anymore. This was a fully autonomous unit. It scanned him. Eyes glowing faintly, he ducked, rolled behind a pile of rubble, feeling the ground shake as it moved closer. Every instinct screamed to run, but he forced himself to stay calm. He remembered something from his notes, a pattern he had noticed in Park 1. The AI, brilliant as it was, overanalyzed certain scenarios. It expected perfect logic, but humans were unpredictable. Chaotic, clever, Kiran smiled faintly. A spark of hope flickering. He could use that. Turn the AI's strength against it. He just needed one opening. One small mistake from the machine. Hours passed in tense silence, broken only by the drone's occasional hum. Kiran's body ached, but his mind raced with possibilities. He planned, calculated, imagined dozens of strategies. Every option tested in his mind before acting. The AI adapted to some, failed against others. But it was learning, evolving. And Kiran realized this was a battle of wits, patience, and courage. As night fell again, the city swallowed in darkness. Kiran crouched on a rooftop. Watching the AI retreat momentarily, he exhaled slowly, knowing this encounter was only the beginning. Tomorrow, he would push further, study it closer, test its limits. The first encounter had shown him the power of the alien AI, but it had also shown him something else. Humans were clever, unpredictable, and relentless. And if he could outthink the machine even once, it could be the first step toward turning the tide of this war. Kiran stared at the distant stars, determination in his eyes. The city was silent. But the threat was never gone. The alien AI was watching, learning, adapting, and he would be ready. The night was thick with fog. The ruined city bathed in a ghostly silver light. Soldier Kiran moved silently through narrow streets, his senses sharper than ever. Every sound, every shadow could be the AI testing him. He knew that the probe and its drones had adapted to his previous tricks. Now he needed more than patience. He needed understanding. He had to find the flaw hidden deep within the alien AI's perfect logic. He entered an abandoned laboratory, its doors hanging on broken hinges. Inside, dust-covered tables and shattered screens. Kiran's boots echoed softly on the cracked floor. He activated a small light, revealing walls covered in strange alien symbols. The hum of distant drones made him tense. He moved carefully, examining the patterns. Some symbols repeated in regular intervals, almost like a rhythm. It was as if the AI's mind left traces of its own calculations. Kiran crouched beside a ruined terminal, flicking through corrupted data files. Bits of alien code flickered across the screen. He did not fully understand the language, but he recognized anomalies. Some sequences repeated with minor differences, patterns too predictable for an intelligence designed to adapt. He felt a spark of hope. Even the most advanced AI could not account for human unpredictability. But maybe, just maybe, small inconsistencies could be exploited suddenly. A faint vibration ran through the floor. A drone swept past the laboratory entrance. Its sensors scanning, Kiran froze, holding his breath. He waited for the drone to pass, then continued studying the code. Hours seemed to pass in silence, broken only by the occasional hum of alien machinery. Then he noticed it, a subtle flaw in the AI's predictive algorithm. It calculated probabilities perfectly, but struggled with chaos and randomness. Kiran smiled faintly, knowing this was the key he had been searching for. He tested the idea immediately, using small objects and light reflections to create unpredictable movement patterns. The drone hesitated, scanning, recalculating. It paused for several seconds longer than usual. Kiran realized the AI had to adjust to human ingenuity in real time. Each unexpected action forced it to rethink. And in that pause, there was opportunity. A moment to strike, to deceive, to survive. He made notes quickly, sketching diagrams of traps and diversions. Kiran imagined 1,000 ways to exploit the AI's rigidity. He could use mirrors, smoke, erratic movement, and sound to confuse it. The possibilities were endless. But he had to be careful. One wrong step, and the AI would adapt instantly. He felt the weight of responsibility. Every action he planned now could mean life or death for the colony. Outside, the fog thickened. Hiding the city in shadow, Kiran moved to the rooftop. Scanning the streets below, he noticed drone patterns were regular, predictable, despite their advanced sensors. They paused, turned, scanned in sequences he could map. His mind raced, combining observation with the flaw he had discovered in the AI's logic. This was the moment to begin turning the tables, to make the machine believe it was in control while he guided it into mistakes. Suddenly, a piercing light cut through the fog. A large drone hovered near the rooftop, its sensors locking onto him. Kiran ducked instinctively, heart hammering. He threw a small device he had assembled, a reflective mirror with erratic movements. The drone paused, scanning, recalculating. It hesitated longer than ever before, as if confused by the unpredictability. Kiran seized the moment and leapt to a lower balcony. Landing silently, his plan was working. The AI was vulnerable, but only for a moment. He spent the rest of the night mapping the AI's behavior. Each trap he imagined, each movement, tested the limits of its calculations. By dawn, he had a detailed understanding. The alien AI was brilliant, adaptive, but it could not handle chaos. It relied on patterns, logic, and probability. Humans, however, could act irrationally, predictably, creatively. Kiran realized that if he could exploit this, he could turn the tide of the war. As the first light of morning touched the city, he crouched on a rooftop overlooking the streets. Below, the drones moved in perfect formation, unaware that their calculations were already flawed. Kiran felt a surge of determination. He knew the AI would continue to evolve, but he had found its weakness, a single flaw in perfect logic, a human unpredictability it could not fully anticipate. For the first time, he felt he could win, not with brute force, not with superior technology, but with his mind, and with that realization, Kiran prepared for the next phase of the battle. The AI was powerful, relentless, and terrifying. But humans were clever, adaptable, and unpredictable. And tonight, Kiran would prove that ingenuity could outsmart even the most advanced alien intelligence. Night had fallen over the ruined city again. The streets were bathed in pale blue light, and the fog had thickened, swallowing everything in shadows. Soldier Kiran crouched behind the remains of a collapsed building, his eyes scanning for any sign of the alien AI. He had spent hours studying its patterns, testing its logic, and tonight he was ready to act. This was the first real trap he had planned, and he knew failure could cost him his life. He checked the devices he had prepared, simple human tools adapted in clever ways. Mirrors to reflect light unpredictably, small noisemakers to confuse sensors, and erratic smoke generators. Kiran set them carefully in the alleyways and rooftops leading to the plaza. Every placement had a purpose, every movement designed to mislead the AI. He crouched low, observing the drones sweeping the streets. Each one moved with precision. Scanning every corner, every shadow, Kiran held his breath, waiting for the moment to spring the trap. Suddenly, a drone hovered near the center of the plaza. It paused, scanning, its sensors blinking rapidly. Kiran triggered the first device, a mirror reflecting light in random patterns. The drone tilted, recalculated, and paused longer than usual, its mechanical hum growing erratic. He activated the smoke generator, sending thick clouds into its path. The AI sensors struggled to adapt to the sudden chaos. Kiran smiled faintly, knowing his plan was working. But the AI was not defeated yet. A larger unit descended from above, its limbs moving with terrifying precision. It scanned the plaza, analyzing the smoke, the light, the sounds, Kiran ducked behind a crate as the machine moved closer. He could see its processing units flickering, trying to predict human movement. The pause, the hesitation, was exactly what he had been waiting for. It was a small victory, but a victory nonetheless. He activated the second device, releasing erratic sounds from different points around the plaza. The drone and the larger unit twisted and turned. Confused by the chaos, Kiran moved silently, slipping from shadow to shadow. Every step was calculated, yet unpredictable. He used the AI's own reliance on logic against it. For the first time, he felt control over the situation. Suddenly, a shadow moved above him. A drone swooped low, sensors searching. Kiran rolled behind a broken wall, heart racing. He had to think fast. One wrong move and the trap would fail. He remembered a small pattern in the AI's movements. It always paused for 3 seconds after a sudden distraction. Timing was everything. He waited, counting silently. Then moved again, faster and more precise. The larger AI unit approached the trap area. Unaware of the hidden devices, Kiran activated the final diversion, a mirror reflecting light directly into its sensors. For a few tense moments, the AI hesitated. Calculating endlessly, it overanalyzed, unable to predict the human unpredictability. Kiran seized the moment, sprinting across the plaza, slipping past the distracted machines. He reached the edge of the city square, safe for now. But the adrenaline burned through his veins. Hours passed. The AI slowly adapted to the diversions. But it had already lost precious time. Kiran crouched in a dark alley, watching from a distance. The first trap had worked better than he had dared hope. It had proved that the AI, no matter how advanced, could be deceived. It could hesitate, make mistakes, and allow humans to survive. This knowledge was priceless. He knew he could build on it, create larger, more intricate traps in the future. But the victory was not without risk. One misstep and the AI could have adapted instantly. Kiran realized that every engagement was a test of wits. The alien mind was brilliant, relentless, and terrifying. Yet human ingenuity had found a foothold, a small crack in the machine's perfection. He felt a surge of confidence mixed with caution. The next trap would be even more daring, even more dangerous. As dawn approached, Kiran surveyed the plaza. The AI units retreated slightly. As if regrouping and learning from the chaos, he knew they would come again. Smarter, faster, more aware. But he was ready. He had discovered the power of human unpredictability, and he would use it again and again. The first trap was a test, a lesson, and a warning. The alien AI had learned, but so had he. Kiran's mind raced with possibilities. New traps, diversions, and strategies forming in his thoughts. Each more daring than the last, he smiled faintly. A spark of hope in the darkness. The alien AI was powerful. Yes, but human cunning, creativity, and bravery could turn the tide. Tonight, the first trap had proved it. And tomorrow, the real battle would begin. The city was silent, but danger hung in the air like a thick fog. Soldier Kiran crouched behind the ruins of a collapsed building. Sweat running down his face, every shadow seemed alive. Every sound magnified in the eerie quiet. He knew the alien AI had adapted to his previous traps. Tonight, it would be hunting him more aggressively than ever. He moved cautiously through the deserted streets, eyes scanning for any sign of drones. The fog distorted shapes, making it hard to distinguish between debris and deadly machines. Kiran's heart pounded in his chest. He could hear a faint whir in the distance, the sound of the AI scanning relentlessly. He hugged the walls, keeping low, every instinct screened to stay hidden, to move carefully, to survive. Suddenly, a drone shot past, narrowly missing him. Kiran stumbled. Almost exposing his position, he froze, holding his breath. Feeling the adrenaline surge, the drone hovered briefly. Its sensors scanning the area, it detected movement, a shadow. A flicker and tilted toward him. Kiran ducked behind a metal container, pressing his back against it. He could feel the ground vibrating as the larger AI unit approached. Its steps precise, terrifying, and unstoppable. He realized he had underestimated its speed. The AI was relentless and intelligent. It adapted faster than he could anticipate. Kiran's mind raced, searching for a way out. Every alley, every building, every street could be a trap. He had to improvise. To think faster than he ever had. One wrong move, and the AI would capture him, or worse, destroy him. He remembered the small flaw he had discovered. The AI struggled with unpredictability, chaos, and sudden changes. Kiran looked around desperately. Searching for anything he could use, he spotted a pile of broken glass and metal rods. A plan formed quickly in his mind, risky but necessary. He took a deep breath, ready to act. As the larger AI unit entered the street, Kiran triggered his makeshift trap. He threw the metal rods and glass across its path, creating sudden noise and chaos. The AI paused, sensors spinning. Confused by the unpredictable objects, Kiran sprinted across the street, slipping behind a crumbled wall. He could hear the hum of the AI recalculating, adjusting. It was learning, adapting. But he had gained precious seconds, seconds that might save his life. But then, from above, a drone dived toward him. Faster than he expected, Kiran rolled to the side, narrowly avoiding its sharp metallic claws. His body ached from the constant tension, every muscle tense. He realized the AI had learned part of his plan already. It was faster, smarter, more dangerous than ever. He needed a bold move, a gamble, or he would be cornered. He spotted a narrow alley leading to the river, a place the AI might hesitate to follow. He darted toward it, weaving through debris. Barely avoiding the drone's sensors, the larger unit blocked his path. Its mechanical limbs moving with terrifying precision, Kiran hesitated for a split second, then used a reflection of moonlight from a shard of metal to blind its sensors briefly. It paused, overanalyzing the sudden light, and Kiran slipped past, his chest heaving, his mind racing. He did not look back. Every step could be his last. But he could not stop now. He reached the riverbank, water lapping quietly against rocks. For a moment, he allowed himself to breathe. But he knew it was only temporary. The AI would adapt, would learn, and would come for him again. Kiran scanned the foggy streets, realizing he had survived, but barely. The close call had taught him something vital. The AI could be outsmarted, but only with quick thinking, courage, and daring risks. He looked at the city, glowing faintly under the moonlight. Every ruined building, every shadow, was a reminder of the enemy's power, but also of human resilience. Ingenuity and bravery. Kiran clenched his fists, determination burning in his chest. The AI had almost caught him, but he had survived. And that survival was proof that humans could fight back. Not with brute force, but with cleverness, creativity, and courage. As dawn approached, he crouched behind a boulder. Exhausted but alert, the city was quiet again. The drones regrouping, the larger unit retreating. Kiran knew the next encounter would be more dangerous. But he also knew he had learned the AI's limits. Its greatest flaw was still there, its inability to predict true human unpredictability. And he intended to exploit it fully in the battles ahead. The close call had changed him, sharpened his mind, and strengthened his resolve. Tomorrow, he would be ready. The fight against the alien AI was far from over. But now, Kiran knew that humans could survive, fight, and even triumph, even against a mind far superior in speed, strength, and calculation. And with that thought, he vanished into the shadows, ready for the next challenge. The city lay in eerie silence, broken only by the distant hum of alien drones. Soldier Kiran crouched behind the remains of a collapsed building, the moonlight casting jagged shadows across the rubble. He had survived countless encounters with the AI. But tonight would be different. Tonight, he intended not just to evade it, but to outsmart it completely. He had spent days studying its patterns, memorizing every pause, every tilt, every minor hesitation. The flaw he had discovered, the AI's struggle with unpredictability, was still there. Waiting for him to exploit it, Kiran had designed a master plan, a trap that required precise timing, careful observation, and absolute courage. Every step he took had been calculated in advance, every move a piece of a larger puzzle. If he succeeded, the AI would be forced into a situation it could not calculate, and he would finally gain the upper hand. He moved silently through the streets, using shadows and broken walls as cover. Every corner, every alley had been prepared with diversions, mirrors, and noisemakers. He activated a small device that emitted erratic light patterns. The drones hovering above paused, their sensors spinning as they tried to process the chaos. Kiran darted to a nearby rooftop, moving faster than ever. Below him, the larger AI unit followed, its mechanical limbs precise and deadly. It did not realize that every movement it made was being manipulated. Guided by human ingenuity, he triggered the first diversion, releasing smoke from multiple points in the plaza. The drones hesitated, confused by the unpredictable movements. Kiran had set reflective panels in the surrounding streets. Every light flash, every random noise forced the AI to recalculate endlessly. It was trapped in its own logic, unable to anticipate the human improvisation that controlled the battlefield. Suddenly, the larger AI unit paused near the plaza. Sensors flickering, it had detected anomalies, but could not determine their source. Kiran seized the moment, leaping from rooftop to rooftop. He landed near a hidden control panel he had prepared. With quick hands, he activated the final phase of his trap. A network of lights, mirrors, and erratic sounds converged, creating a maze the AI could not navigate. The drones and the larger unit moved cautiously, scanning. Every calculation they made led them deeper into confusion. Kiran watched from above, heart pounding. Knowing the plan was working, the AI, brilliant as it was, could not adapt to true chaos. It hesitated, miscalculated, and faltered. For the first time, humanity had a real advantage. The AI's relentless pursuit slowed, giving Kiran precious seconds to act. He activated a series of final diversions, forcing the AI into a confined alley. The mirrors reflected light into its sensors. The smoke and noise disrupted its calculations. Kiran moved swiftly, pressing buttons, pulling levers. The AI froze for a fraction of a second, a moment enough to tip the scales. With one final device, he triggered a containment mechanism he had secretly built. A net of energy barriers enveloped the AI unit, immobilizing it temporarily. Kiran exhaled slowly, adrenaline rushing. He had done it, outsmarted the AI, if only for a short time. The drones hovered uncertainly. Scanning the area, the larger unit struggled, calculating endlessly against unpredictable human tactics. Kiran's smile widened, hope and triumph surging through him. For the first time, humans had proven that intelligence, creativity, and courage could match alien technology. But Kiran knew the victory was fragile. The AI would adapt, learn from this encounter. Tomorrow it would be smarter, faster, and more dangerous. Yet tonight, He had shown that humans could fight back. Ingenuity, unpredictability, and courage were weapons no machine could fully master. He moved carefully through the plaza, avoiding lingering groans, every action deliberate, every step a test of patience and strategy. As dawn approached, he reached a safe vantage point. Overlooking the city, the trapped Ionid struggled below. Unable to escape, Kiran felt a surge of satisfaction. But he did not celebrate openly. There was no time for relief. Only preparation for what came next. He thought of the colony, the people relying on him. The victory tonight was a message. Humans were not helpless. They could outthink, outmaneuver, and survive. Kiran clenched his fists, determination burning in his chest. The battle against the alien AI was far from over. But tonight, human ingenuity had triumphed. And that triumph would inspire hope in the days to come. As the first light of morning touched the ruined city, Kiran disappeared into the shadows. The AI recalculated, adapted. But it had already learned that humans were not predictable. And Kiran knew he would continue to use that unpredictability to stay one step ahead. The war was far from over, but for the first time, the odds felt slightly in humanity's favor. Tonight, a soldier had shown that even the most advanced intelligence could be outsmarted, and that hope, courage, and cleverness were the true weapons of humankind. The city was quiet, but the calm was uneasy. Soldier Kiran stood atop a crumbled skyscraper, overlooking the ruined streets bathed in the pale light of dawn. The alien AI lay trapped below, immobilized by the clever web of human ingenuity he had crafted. For the first time in weeks, he allowed himself a moment to breathe. But deep down, he knew this calm was temporary, a fragile illusion. He descended carefully into the streets, his boots crunching on broken glass and rubble. The colony was stirring slowly, survivors emerging from hidden shelters. Eyes filled with relief, gratitude, and cautious hope met him wherever he went. Kiran had saved lives, outsmarted a relentless enemy. Yet he could feel a shadow lingering in his mind. The AI's defeat tonight was only a pause, not the end. He walked through the plaza where the final trap had taken hold. The smoke dissipated, mirrors shattered, and noisemakers silent, but the drones hovered in the distance. Retreating for now, Kiran studied them carefully, noting their formation, speed, and adaptations. Even immobilized, the AI was learning, recalculating, evolving. He realized the alien intelligence would return. Stronger and more cunning, Kiran turned his attention to the survivors. Gathering them in small groups, he shared what he had learned, teaching them to move unpredictably, to improvise, to think like him. Ingenuity, he explained, was the weapon they had. Strength and firepower alone could not defeat this enemy. Humans had to use their minds, their creativity, their courage. Each person became part of a plan, a network of unpredictability to challenge the AI. As he worked, Kiran noticed strange patterns in the shadows. Unfamiliar lights flickered at the edge of the city, too fast to be drones. He crouched, observing, heart tightening. The AI was sending signals, perhaps to call reinforcements. Or perhaps it was testing the survivors, measuring human responses. Either way, he knew the threat was far from over. Kiran moved to a high vantage point. Scanning the horizon, stars twinkled overhead, distant and silent, but among them, a faint metallic shimmer caught his eye. It was subtle, almost imperceptible, yet he recognized it immediately, the signature of alien machinery. A new threat, perhaps part of a larger network. It reminded him that the AI they had faced tonight was only one piece of a greater, more dangerous puzzle. He felt a mixture of fear and determination. The AI was brilliant, relentless, and evolving. But humans had proven that intelligence, courage, and creativity could match any machine. Kiran thought of the first trap, the close calls, the nights of study and improvisation. Every step had led to this moment, a moment where human ingenuity triumphed. Yet he knew that this was only the beginning of a long, uncertain war. As he looked down at the survivors, Kiran realized something profound. They were not helpless. Even ordinary humans could rise to extraordinary challenges when their minds and hearts were united. The AI might be powerful, adaptive, and intelligent, but it could never fully predict chaos, creativity, or courage. And humanity had all three in abundance. He crouched silently on the rooftop, reflecting on the battle and its lessons. The city around him was broken, scarred by the conflict, yet it was alive, filled with hope, resilience, and determination. Kiran knew the AI would return, perhaps with reinforcements or more advanced strategies. But now he had confidence, a plan, and the knowledge that humans could survive. And more importantly, that they could fight back. A soft wind swept through the streets, carrying the faint hum of distant drones. Kiran's eyes narrowed, determination burning, brighter than fear. He would prepare the colony, train the survivors, and continue to outsmart the alien intelligence. Every trap, every strategy, every moment of ingenuity would count. He felt a surge of pride, hope, and readiness. Humanity had survived the impossible, and one clever soldier had shown the way. As the sun rose fully over the ruined skyline, casting long shadows over shattered buildings, Kiran disappeared into the alleys and rooftops. Moving silently, ever vigilant, the alien AI might return, stronger and more intelligent, but humans were ready, unpredictable, and clever. Tonight, a battle had been won, but tomorrow the war continued, and Soldier Kiran knew that humanity would face it with courage, wit, and determination. For human ingenuity was a weapon no alien machine could ever fully conquer.